Hi, in this lesson, let's take a look at parallel and perpendicular lines, and we're going to see how to graph them. Alright, here are two parallel lines. Parallel lines, they run side by side, and they don't intersect each other. Like a railroad track here. We have a train here. Let's hope that it stops here at the end of the track. These lines are parallel. So, let's first take a look at our graphing parallel lines, and let's see what makes them parallel. Okay, so here we have our graph here, and we're going to graph our first line here. It goes through -3 on this green line, goes through the -3 on the y-axis, has a slope of 2. So y equals 2x minus 3. That's line B, let's call it. And let's say that line A goes through 1 on the y-axis and also has a slope of 2. Notice the lines are parallel. So here is our key ingredient here for finding parallel lines here, that the slopes are equal. Now let's examine perpendicular lines. Here we have our railroad tracks again, and notice they're meeting at a certain angle. They're meeting at a 90-degree angle. And that's what makes them perpendicular. Oh, I hope they don't crash. So, let's see what makes lines perpendicular, and let's see how we graph them, and can we identify the difference between parallel and perpendicular here. So, let's graph our first line. It goes through the y-axis at y equals 1 and has a slope of 4. So y equals 4x plus 1 is the equation of line A. And let's look at line B. It goes through -3 on the y-axis, and it has a slope of -1/4. Notice that the slope of line A is different than the slope of line B, and that line B, the slope is the negative reciprocal of the slope of line A. And if you multiply those together, the slopes, you'll get a -1. So that's our key ingredient here for finding the slopes of lines. So here, let's do this next example. Let's see if it's parallel or perpendicular or neither. So we got y equals 2/3 x minus 2. That's our orange line, and our green line is y equals -3/2 x minus 2. So notice that the slope on line B is the negative reciprocal of the slope of A. And now when you multiply those together, you get a -1. So we have perpendicular lines. That little blue upside down T there, it represents being perpendicular. So A is perpendicular to B. So let's take a look at our next problem here. Now here, what we need to do is get these two equations in a standard form for graphing a line. So we need to solve for y. So on the left hand side here, we subtract 4x from both sides, and then we divide through by 2. So we get y equals -2x plus 3. And on the right hand side here, we subtract 4x from both sides, and then we divide through by 2. and then in the end here, we'll get y equals a -2x minus 3. Notice right away that they have the same slopes. So what are they going to be? They're going to be parallel lines. So let's go ahead and actually graph them. So let's take a look at our first line here. It's the one that goes through -3 on the y-axis. That's the y-intercept. We'll call that line, our orange line is A. We get y equals -2x minus 3. And then we'll have one going through 3. And just as I said, the two lines are parallel because their slopes are equal. Okay, so thank you.